What's up everyone, it's Jason here. Welcome back to my channel. To honor Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I wanted to talk about my experience growing up as an Asian American. I was also inspired by two YouTubers, Dustin and Jasmine. They also made these growing up as Asian American videos, and I recently just watched them and I was so inspired that I wanted to make my own video talking about my experience, just to kind of share with everyone my story about being Asian American, because I feel like it's so important for other Asian Americans to hear these types of stories, especially younger Asian Americans. Let's get on with it. So I am half Filipino and half Vietnamese. On my dad's side, they're Vietnamese, and on my mom's side, they're Filipino. I feel like I am more in touch to my Filipino side compared to my Vietnamese side, just because a lot of my relatives on my mom's side lived close to us. So I was more open and exposed to the Filipino culture. So growing up as Asian American, I have definitely experienced my few shares of hardships. So my mom, she immigrated here, so she didn't really speak the best English. But my dad, he grew up in America, so his English is really good. He knows Vietnamese as well, but he mainly just spoke English to me and my sister. And so yeah, I don't really know how to speak Vietnamese or how to speak Tagalog, which really sucks. I understand a little bit of Tagalog, just a little bit, but I don't know how to like say anything back. It's really sad because whenever like my relatives from the Philippines call, it's like I have to, speak to them in English, and it's like I really wish I knew how to speak in Tagalog so I could communicate with them better. So growing up, I was never taught how to speak my mother language or anything like that, and I definitely do regret that. So I'm always envious of people who are Asian American, and in fact just like of any ethnicity that has a mother tongue. I'm so jealous if they know their their mother language, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish I dedicated the time when I was younger to learn this language, but that's in the past, and who knows, maybe in the near future I will pick up learning Vietnamese or Tagalog. We'll see. But in elementary school, I never really was a victim of bullying when it came to my race and my ethnic background. I was always known to be a shy kid, never to really talk to anyone. No one has ever said anything racist to my face, I would per se. But in elementary school, I didn't really know what racism was, especially towards me. I never really had any thoughts about racism. It wasn't until I was in middle school where people are going through that prepubescent times and people are a little angsty, where I started to see what racism was, I guess. But like I said, no one was ever racist to my face. They never made fun of my eyes or my hair or my food or anything like that. In fact, I feel like they were all pretty supportive. I remember in elementary school one time, I brought shrimp chips, and I remember bringing it to class and people were so in awe about my shrimp chips and they wanted to try it. And I remember I gave them to some of my friends and they were like, oh my gosh, this is so good, I love it, I want more. And I was like, oh cool, okay, I'll bring more next time. So I thought for me being Asian was so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making so many friends because of my shrimp chips, But it wasn't until middle school where I started to have feelings of internalized racism, I guess. I started exhibiting internalized racism, I guess you would say. And middle school was actually when I got into K-pop. And when you see, K-pop idols, they are super pale, very beautiful, have perfect face structures, had, clear glass skin, beautiful hair, looked good, I remember I wanted to look exactly like them. And I am on the tanner side, right? I don't have that creamy, milky skin that, a lot of East Asians have. And I remember just thinking that my skin tone was so ugly and disgusting and dirty that I remembered I even Googled how to whiten my face. So I remembered during the summertime, during my middle school years, that I would Google home remedies of how to whiten my skin. And so I did everything from lemon juice to turmeric to freaking honey to milk and all this just to whiten my skin. And I'm not trying to say that K-pop had a negative effect on me, because trust me, without K-pop I wouldn't be experiencing all these good and fun music, But definitely on how I viewed myself as an Asian person, I felt so, I don't know. I guess I felt like I was you know, inferior to the other Asian cultures, I guess. And I remember trying so hard to just whiten my skin. I remembered that like I would also use this toner. It's called Escanol, I think, and it's supposed to have like lightening properties, and I stole it from my mom's bathroom, low-key. And I remembered every single morning I would like put it on like a cotton pad and I would rub it all over my face, trying to hoping that my skin would lighten. I remember just growing up wanting to have that milky white skin, and now, like, thinking back, I just think that I was so stupid. It's like, why can't I embrace my skin tone? Why can't I embrace how I looked already? And I don't know, it's just really sad. So aside from the internalized racism that I experienced most of my middle school and early high school, I could also firmly say that I am a whitewashed Asian. We do eat, like, you know, pho, or we eat sinigang or pancit and stuff like that. But for the most part, I tend to favor more like Western food, so like tacos and spaghetti and burgers and stuff like that. I don't know, I just love like burgers. Like I would rather eat a hamburger than have pho. And I feel like a lot of Vietnamese people are like shaming me on that. They're like, how could you have a hamburger over pho? But I don't know, just like a good hamburger, dude. And I think the reason why I've gotten so whitewashed is because like the people I grew up with, that's the thing. I don't think I have like an Asian like friend group. And it's so bad because there's somewhere deep inside me where it's like I wish I had that Asian friend group. That's why when I see like people from like Southern California like have all these like friends that are all Asian, I get so envious inside because it's like, oh, they like relate to each other and they understand each other, you know, to a more cultural level. You know, in the Midwest, Missouri, there's not a lot of Asian people to kind of talk to. So like when I do see an Asian person, I do get a little kind of like, oh my gosh, like I want to be your friend, but like it's gonna be so hard, you know. I don't know. I guess I also just have a hard time making friends, period. But like I said, I get so envious when I see, you know, a group of Asian people and they're all friends with each other, because it's like there's already that built understanding of like one's culture and one's attitude. I guess growing up, a lot of my friends were white. I guess that also has to do with why I'm a bit more whitewashed compared to other Asian Americans. I wouldn't say being whitewashed is a bad thing per se. I would just say that it's more like that's how it is, you know, growing up. So in terms of Asian representation, I remember the first like Asian person I saw on the screen and was just completely floored was Mulan. So I loved Mulan growing up. It's like my favorite Disney movie of all time. I just thought it was so cool to see like an Asian woman, no less, kind of like kick butt and, you know, follow her heart and do the things that she thought was right. And I don't know, she was just always such a big inspiration to me, and just that whole movie in general just, I don't know, really resonates with me a lot. Another Asian representation that I remember is Jackie Chan in Rush Hour. I love Rush Hour. If you haven't seen Rush Hour, you should definitely watch it. It's a funny movie. They do say a lot of very, very, very racist things. I guess back then it was just, you know, kind of like funny, but it was more so seeing Jackie Chan kind of like do these cool kung fu moves, and not to mention he's like a really attractive man. So it's just seeing like an attractive male Asian on the screen kind of doing it all just was such a cool thing to see. The Asian representation that we see back then was just a lot of Asian people being the sidekick, the nerd, the hacker, or whatever. They kind of weren't like the main character, I guess. I think seeing, you know, Asian people in media be portrayed as that nerd, sidekick, you know, person, it made me really mad. And I feel like I never outrightly showed that I was mad or upset when it came to those Asian representations, but inside, anytime that I would see an Asian person kind of be like that nerdy sidekick, I would get really upset inside. And I'm like, why are all the Asian people I see just these nerdy people? And I feel like now Asian representation has gotten a lot better for sure, with the rise of K-pop, K-dramas. You know, Netflix shows are even casting Asians as like the main lead, you know? And same with like Crazy Rich Asians too. Like that just was such a freaking monumental moment in history when Crazy Rich Asians came, because like the majority of the cast were Asian people, and it was just so cool to see like Asian people and Asian actors and actresses be in this Hollywood production film. And it was just, I felt so proud to be an Asian person in that moment. Even with the YouTubers I watch, so, you know, I watch Stephanie Sue, Dustin Vungs. I love all of their videos, you know, and I just feel so proud when I see like Asian people doing good in media. I'm just like, yes, like we've made it. I hope that one day I can get onto their level of just, you know, showing it off and, you know, being that Asian representation for other Asian American kids, you know. I definitely want to be that person that people can look up to, especially as an Asian American. But yeah, like I said, growing up as an Asian American and being an adult now, I can firmly say that I am proud to be an Asian American. I'm proud to be Filipino. I'm proud to be Vietnamese. I know that some people kind of disassociate with those cultures because we're ashamed, you know, especially here living in America. But now that I'm older, it's kind of like, this is who I am. I'm Filipino, I'm Vietnamese, that's it, I'm Asian, you know? Yeah, so that kind of is my experience being an Asian American, and I feel like this video is very personal to me, and I've always wanted to make this type of video. I was always just very kind of nervous to show my like raw feelings and emotions towards this, because I know like behind all of my words there still is a lot of just resentment and anger because of being Asian American. I've learned to kind of let that go and learn to be more proud of who I am. If you guys enjoyed this video, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!